Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Robert Miano.
They're casting Donnie Brasco out here in Los Angeles. The guy, may he rest in peace, this casting director, Lou DeGimo. And my agent, I called my agent and said, listen, what's happening? They're casting Donnie Brasco. Because what happened was that I reconnected with Al out here in California. I was living in Beverly Hills with this gal, and she had a beautiful home with a paddle tennis court. Okay. And what happened was that through a mutual friend, I reconnected with Al, and I would go meet these guys, and we played down at the beach at the Sand and Sea at the time. There was a paddle tennis court, and there was Al, and I'd play paddle tennis with these guys, and he would come around with his entourage. And then they closed that place, and I had the paddle court up at the house, so he'd bring the entourage up at the house, and there I was reconnected with Al again up there, and he'd come to the house, and we'd play paddle tennis. He brought Rob Lowe and some other people, and so anyway, he went back to New York, and they were casting Donnie Brasco. And I said to my agent, listen, they're casting. He says, listen, Robert, I called the agent. I called the casting director. He said, there's nothing in it for you. Oh, man. These are all Italian guys, Yeah. I call New York. And I call Al's office. And the guy that was traveling with Al, who would drive him to the house, and he was a great guy. And he says, "Hey, Robert, how you doing?" I said, "Listen, they're casting Donnie Brasco, and my agent says the casting director says there's nothing in it for me." He says, "Robert, I'm making Al's list right now as we speak. I'll put your name down." I think a day later, no more, I get a call from the casting director. He wants me to come in, pick a script up, and look at the role of Sonny Red. Wow, okay. So I go to Sony, I get the script, I go home, and I prepare Sonny Red, which was more of a sketch role. It wasn't like a flushed out role. And the other role was like Sonny Black. Anyway, I go back the next day to meet the director, Mike Newell, right? Mm-hmm. We go inside the studio. I sit down, and I'm waiting to meet Mike Newell. And these other two actors come up and sit next to me, right? And the casting director comes out, and he brings all three of us in to meet Mike Newell. So I go sit down in a chair, and the chair was in the middle, and this guy comes in, this other actors, and he talks like, "Hey, Bobby, we got the roles here. He says, why don't you move to the other chair?" So I said, "Oh, all right." So I go sit in another chair, and the chair is like a little chair, like a tiny chair. And now I'm looking up at everybody. I said, "No, this doesn't work." I get up, I grab another chair. Mike Newell says to me, "Are you," he's an English guy. He says, "Are you happy, Robert?" I said, "No, not really." So anyway, we read the roles, right? We finish reading, and we get up. We sitting there, and Mike Newell, he gets up. He's got a cup of coffee in his hand, and he reaches out to me like this with his left hand, and he puts his left hand in my face, and he holds the coffee, and I'm saying, I said, "Son of a, what am I supposed to do? Kiss this guy's hand?" And he says, "Well, thank you for coming." He says, we'll find roles for everyone. Thank you." And he's waving his hand at me, and my ears got hot. Because where we come from, somebody gives you their left hand in your face, like, what the hell is that? I said, "Yeah, excuse me 1 second." So I go outside. I said, "Robert, calm down, relax." I take it, I take a moment or two. I walk back inside, and he's still parading around Mike Newell. So we leave, the three of us, And I say, you know what, man? We all got stroked just now. He's bringing all three of us in at the same time. So, you know, the guy, no, 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 don't worry. He liked us. He really liked us. Don't worry about it. Yeah, he's a good guy. Don't worry. So a week goes by. I don't hear nothing. 2 weeks goes by. I don't hear nothing. And all of a sudden, my agent calls me. He says, Robert, I got a call from casting. They want to hire you as a local hire in New York to play the role of Sonny Red. I said, son of a gun. So, okay, fantastic. I'll do it. They I think they flew me out, but they wouldn't put me up. Fortunately, I have a cousin in New York that had a beautiful penthouse on the east side. So I had a place to crash.
Yeah.
And I go to the Gulf and Western building, and we're all going to read the script. And there's Johnny Depp and Michael Madsen and Anne Hesh, Bruno Kirby. We're all sitting there waiting around for Al to show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there I am sitting in that waiting area. The elevator opens, and Al walks out. I said, Al. He says to me, Bob, you're doing this, Bob. So I'm 2 weeks into the shoot, and I go to Mike Newell. I said, Mike, I said, you saw all these people. I said, because I wasn't sure how I got the role. I said, tell me, I said, why did you give me the role? He says, Robert, it was your cruel eyes. Your cruel eyes. So when I looked at him, when he gave me the left hand that time, and I gave him a look like I wanted to take his head off, right?
Yeah.
That's what he saw. And he put that in the movie because there's that one shot of me, looking at Michael Madsen where he gives me that close-up, that look. But the look I gave him in that room that day, I think he saw the guy that he wanted to play that guy, Sonny Red. And that's how I got that role.
That's insane. That's a great story. Great story.
Yeah. So anyway, and I kept banging. Look, I know this. Look, there's no finish line, Billy. I just keep going, and I'm living in Santa Monica. I've got 2 cats. I married this beautiful young Swiss girl, and she's an actress, Sylvia Spross, and we live 6 blocks from the beach. And I keep working. Like that's how I met you.
Yeah.
I got a call from this girl, Lisa. I think we went to this autograph signing in New Jersey, mob cons, and everybody, Michael Madsen was there, Eric Roberts was there, and blah, blah, blah. And this gal was there who was married, Lisa, who was married to Henry Hill.
Yeah.
And what's her name was there? Dana. And I didn't, yeah. And I met them there. So I don't know, out of the blue, like 2 months ago, I get a call from Lisa and she says, what are you doing, Robert? I said, I'm doing my thing out here. She says, she says, I have a girlfriend of mine in Connecticut who's putting a film together. Why don't you give her a call? I called Dana. She sends me the script. I look at the script. I said, yeah, sounds like fun. She wanted me to play a Russian gangster. I do Russian accent. It's okay. I do it. And we talked on the phone and we had this connection and right away. It's like it was easy. We negotiated back and forth and we agreed on, what the rate was and on the date and blah, 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 blah. And I fly out to Connecticut and she puts me up in her house. And let me tell you, Dana is an unbelievable girl. Yeah. I mean, she treated me, she was like a daughter to me. She really was. I can't say enough about Dana. She's 24/7. That girl she's on it all, she's got a little baby. She's got a guy, and you know, she gets up in the morning, she cooks and she cleans and she puts all the food together for the cast. And I mean, she did it. She did the makeup. She did it. I mean, I can't say the casting. She had help with Paulie and Joey. What's his
Yeah.
name? Paulino. What's his
Yeah.
Joey?
Papaluzzo.
Huh?
Paulie
Yeah.
Papaluzzo.
Well, let's give Joey a plug. Paulie a plug.
Paulie Papaluzzo.
Papaluzzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Papaluzzo. What a guy. Yeah, Papaluzzo. And he's a good guy, too. He's a fun guy. And he's in the movie. We have a scene together. And Joey.
Joey Ambrosi.
Ambrosi, another good kid.
Yeah.
And let's give a shout out to what was it? What was the restaurant? Papalino's?
Portofino's.
Huh? Portofino.
Portofino's, yeah.
Yeah,
Portofino.
what a restaurant. But the girl that owns the restaurant, Maria.
Yeah.
I hit off with Maria, man. She's like a doll. She's like this Italian, doll. Like, what can I say?
Yeah.
And we just hit it off. The last night in town, we had dinner together with Dana and the guy Randy, who's shooting this film and directing it with Dana. I forget his last name, but I wish I had his last name in front of me, but he's terrific. He's terrific. So it's the film is called Nadia's Request. They shot enough to make a sizzle reel, and now they're gonna find the rest of the equity and finish the film.
Yeah, and we were covered by the news and everything.
Yeah, we were on the news a couple of nights in a row. They came down a couple of times, and they filmed us, and I can't say, Billy, I met you and all these other people. I can't say enough about my experience in Connecticut. This last weekend was I felt like everyone I met, I came away a better person, and they came away a better person. You know what I mean? And that's you don't often have that, in life. But it was that was the experience I had. I'm so grateful about that. So I'm doing some more films here, producing these low budget films with this director Chad Ferrin. We've done about 4 or 5 of them together, and a few of them are based on H.P. Lovecraft, that writer. He has a following. We just finished doing one called The Old Ones, and so look at The Old Ones. You can actually download that one. It's streaming now. It's called The Old Ones. It's a fun movie to watch. And now what else? I'm going to Vegas to do this little movie. What's it called? It's called Exorcism Archives, and I don't know who else is in it, but I go out there on the 26th and film in Las Vegas, and then I'm going back over to Europe, to Albania, to do something, and also Croatia, and I work with the same guys in here in that groove. I work with Eric is in the film with me, and Michael Madsen, not Michael Madsen, Michael Pare. Although I've done other films with Michael Madsen.
He's a great actor too, Michael Madsen.
Michael's a great actor, funny guy, good guy,
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs, and he's been in some great films.
He's done some really good stuff. And before he passed away, last year I did a film with Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, I met Tom Sizemore too.
Imperatos. He was a terrific actor, and I'll tell you something. He tells the best stories. That guy. Talk about guys that tell stories, and a lot of them are not. A lot of them he would just make up as but he was a hell of a storyteller, man, but a brilliant actor, wonderful actor. So, Billy, that's, I mean, in a nutshell, that's where I've been at for the last, you know, God knows how many years, man.
So I'm just starting getting into acting. Like this is my first
Yeah.
role, and I wanted to ask you, what would be your advice for me moving forward?
Well, the first to understand it, look, the most important thing is to be yourself, and you were. That's what you did. You brought yourself to the moment, which was great because you have this personality, and it's you. Listen, you're very unique in who you are, so you don't have to play. All you have to do is be yourself and bring yourself to the moment, you know,
Yeah,
and make it personal for you, and it's a home run for you because you have this interesting kind of um, quirky side, and it comes across, and it's really good. Um, I would I would suggest that you get into some maybe little class, you know, um, and start doing, whether you put up scene work and go once a week. You put up a scene in front of your peers. Find a good teacher, someone you feel comfortable with, that that doesn't get in your way, but gives you a chance, gives you a space to get up and work, and gives you an adjustment. So what happens is that you find out for yourself what works and what doesn't work.